વાત છે તો કે નવા કાર્યકારી પ્રમુખમાં આવશે ખરી ગુજરાત કોંગ્રેસની અંદર
કાર્યકારી
યુનિટી ફોરમમાં મુકેશ અંબાણી સંબોધન કરી રહ્યા છે. સીધા જઈશું ત્યાં.
This transformation is taking place as we see, and I believe, like any transformation, unevenly across geographies and across social classes. But since the speed of this transition is so breathtaking, I have no doubt that globally we are on the verge of building a digital society. And I believe that India, like China-led manufacturing, right? India can lead the digital society and become a global leader in its own right. Let me explain what I mean by digital society. Everything in the physical world, almost every activity in the human world can now be digitized, digitally enabled, digitally enriched, and digitally transformed. Anything and everything that can go digital is going digital at an exponential pace. This dramatic transformation is enabling people to perform tasks digitally, which traditionally were only meant to be performed using physical infrastructure. For example, holding meetings or shopping or watching a movie or making a vendor payment. All these activities 10 years ago would have meant using physical infrastructure in different places. But today, we all do them from convenience of our home. Even common people are now making financial transactions at the click of a button on their smartphones. But this is just the beginning of what is going to be even more incredible, even more exciting, even more beneficial. This is because the world is going to be transformed by the digital first revolution. The physical world will become subordinate to the digital world. Whatever product or service we desire is being first imagined and designed in the digital space, then created in the physical space. Whether you're building an airport or a township, whether you're manufacturing a car or something in consumer electronics, it is today possible to design it end to end first in the digital space, test it as per all possible parameters, and then translate it into reality. What it achieves in terms of project execution is unprecedented velocity, quality, reliability, efficiency, customization, and customer satisfaction. This will also be a drastic cost reduction and drastic reduction in waste resource opportunity in the coming years. Reduction in resource wastage is especially important because it will mean care for the planet. Care for the planet is happening because of another related development. Energy systems are also being digitized, data-driven, and AI-enabled. The transition to energy-saving, decarbonization, clean and green energy is happening at an astonishing pace. We will therefore be seeing something unbelievable in the near future. There will be tremendous value creation in the virtual world as there is value creation in the physical world. For example, people will begin to buy and sell and use virtual real estate. Ideas and innovations will become more valuable than how much physical and financial capital an entrepreneur has. Therefore, the coming digital first revolution is going to make our world and make India more inclusively prosperous than we can now imagine. I can say with absolute confidence that the digital first world will be a more equal world without the traditional and unacceptable disparities and deprivations we see in our societies at present. The digital first world will be a people first world. No one will be last and no human being will be left behind. The digital first world will also be a planet first world. Care for the planet and care for the people. These two mantras will guide technological transformation of the world in the 21st century. Sorry for such a long answer, but Anjali, I am passionate about this. I don't know if you could get most of it.
It is such an exciting vision. And indeed, your passion absolutely comes through. So let me build on that a little bit. In fact, I was going there next on.
તો આ સતીશ, હવે સમય થઈ ગયો છે એક નાનકડા વિરામનો.
પરિવર્તનની અત્યારે તુલના ઝડપે અતુલ્ય છે તેવું પણ કહ્યું હતું. IFCA આયોજિત આ કાર્યક્રમ છે તેમાં મુકેશ અંબાણીએ સંબોધન કર્યું હતું. RIL ચેરમેન મુકેશ અંબાણીએ સંબોધન કરતા કહ્યું છે કે પહેલા ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શનમાં કોમ્પ્યુટરનો ઉપયોગ થઈ રહ્યો હતો. સમાચારોમાં અત્યારે બસ આટલું જ. વધુ સમાચાર માટે જોતા રહો ન્યૂઝ 18 ગુજરાત.
મોસમી વરસાદની સાથે ભારે પવનની આગાહીની જાણકારી ન અપાતા મધદરી અટવાયા માછીમારો. નવા બંદરમાં એક સાથે બોટ પલટી જવાની ઘટના મામલે અત્યાર સુધીમાં 5 જેટલા માછીમારો મળી આવ્યા. તમામ માછીમારોને નજીકની હોસ્પિટલમાં સારવાર માટે ખસેડાયા. હજુ પણ કેટલાક માછીમારો લાપતા. ગીર સોમનાથમાં દરિયામાં બોટ ગુમ થવાના મામલે માછીમારોને બચાવવા હેલિકોપ્ટરથી રેસ્ક્યુ. મુખ્યમંત્રી ભૂપેન્દ્ર પટેલે જિલ્લા કલેક્ટર સાથે કરી તાત્કાલિક વ્યવસ્થા કરી આપી સૂચનાઓ. ગીર સોમનાથમાં મોડી રાત્રે ફૂંકાયેલા ભારે પવનના કારણે નવાબંદર દરિયા કિનારે ભારે નુકસાન. તમામ બોટો કાંઠા પર લાંગરેલી હતી. મોડી રાત્રે અચાનક ભારે પવન અને ઊંચા મોજા ઉછળતા બની ઘટના. કમોસમી વરસાદને લઈને હવામાન વિભાગની આગાહી. દક્ષિણ ગુજરાતમાં 48 કલાક વરસાદી માહોલ રહેશે. સૌરાષ્ટ્રમાં 24 કલાક બાદ વાતાવરણ થશે સ્વચ્છ. છેલ્લા 10 કલાકમાં રાજ્યના 89 તાલુકામાં વરસાદ. ડભોઈ, બોડેલી અને તિલકવાડામાં.
प्रायोजक पेट सफा आयुर्वेदिक चूर्ण. पेट सफा हर रोग दफा. न्यूज हेडलाइन ना प्रायोजक पेट सफा आयुर्वेदिक चूर्ण. पेट सफा हर रोग दफा.
We are a nation of 1.35 billion people and will soon become the world's most populous nation, overtaking China, and also the world's youngest nation. Our second major strength is that India has built the digital pipeline, a world-class digital infrastructure that has reached all our cities, towns, and almost all our 600,000 villages, again, thanks to Prime Minister Modi's Digital India vision. A person in the remotest village can today learn from the latest developments from around the world, consult and collaborate with people across continents, and share her views or his views on global platforms. Jio, I am proud to say, has taken the lead in this. Jio has ensured affordable, high-speed data connectivity, which is a prerequisite to digital revolution. Today, our entire country is fully transitioning from the 2G era to the 4G era. We are in the process of creating an equally affordable ecosystem of devices to enable greater adoption, supported by faster rollout of optic fiber, cloud, and data center infrastructure. The next step will be connectivity of machines, devices, and vehicles, which is the Internet of Things. This will involve many components like different kinds of sensors, smart devices, edge computing, cloud computing, and AI. And with the 5G rollout next year in India, this is now, as India, we are well on our way to have one of the most advanced digital infrastructures in any economy in the world. As these underlying technologies mature, we will be able to reinvent all sectors of our economy digitally, whether it is financial services, commerce, manufacturing, agriculture, education, or healthcare. Most importantly, in addition to fintech, the grassroots sectors such as agriculture, education, and healthcare will transform into more efficient, more affordable, more accessible, to all Indians thanks to these digital technologies. So with this, India will make great strides in fintech, edtech, health tech, and industry 4.0. Digital technology, I believe, is a great leveler, a great democratizer. It is the greatest gift to humanity. And as the name of this forum suggests, Anjali, its future possibilities are truly infinite.
I actually still a chemical engineer. So from then to now, the ubiquitous digitization, the creation of high quality public and private digital infrastructures, this boundaryless world that we are going into, which is digital and not physical in nature, it creates also a sense of a balance requirement. So while on the one hand it is boundaryless, at the same time, both data and digital infrastructure actually have strategic national importance, which the nation states or all countries would want to protect, and for the right reasons. So how do we balance this protection of national interest, at the same time reap the benefits of this absolutely sort of wonderfully globally connected young population with their ideas, and take advantage of the global transfer and collaboration of ideas and solutions?
So Anjali, both data and digital infrastructure are strategically important, not only for India, but for every nation and the entire world, because all 7 billion of us are in it together, as we have seen in all the multiple phases of COVID that we've gone through over the last 2 years. So coming to data, right? I think that every country has the right to build and protect its own strategic digital infrastructure. However, this revolution is inherently global. It has made the entire world more interconnected and interdependent than ever before. And I believe that collectively as a human race, right, we can progress much more by being interconnected and interdependent. Therefore, I believe that we need uniform global standards so that cross-border transactions, collaborations, and partnerships are not hampered. We need ultimately, and I hope India can lead the way to a uniform UPI for a uniform payments interface. India's Aadhaar can lead the way to a uniform Aadhaar for all the 7 billion people, so that every person on this earth is uniquely identified and India leads the way. And that's the opportunity. The third thing that I think is very important is every citizen's right to his privacy, which has to be safeguarded. Therefore, we have to work to have the right policies, the right regulatory framework to balance the imperatives of creating next generation infrastructure, of harmonizing it and integrating it with the world, and regulating it in a way that we don't stifle innovation, but protect the end user and all the citizens of the country and the citizens of the world. And again, I have to say that India is putting all the most forward-looking policies and regulations in place. As you said yourself, right? We have Aadhaar, we have Jan Dhan accounts, and we have our UPI interface, right? We are on the verge of introducing a data privacy bill, which I look forward to, and also the cryptocurrency bill, which will come here. So I think that we are on the right track. And what impresses me the most is that as a society, we are proactive, we are open, and we are vibrant. And as a democracy, we can really be at par with the most developed economies in terms of our thinking and in terms of benefit to all our citizens. And India, I believe, is now well on its way to transform itself into a leading digital society, right? having put digital infrastructure in place, having put the regulatory framework in place, armed with these two enablers, India's young and super talented entrepreneurs are now ready to fly, right? And I believe that we can achieve much, much faster economic growth, progress, and prosperity for all our people and contribute to the rest of the world.
Indeed, and from why not India Stack going to global stack? I think India Stack has been so transformational for this country. I think there is need for a global stack, and perhaps India can also lead the way. Thinking about this, I think digital and sustainability absolutely go hand in hand, Mr. Ambani, as you pointed out. To build a more sustainable, more inclusive world, digitization and the use of technology is absolutely key. And we have seen in some ways that despite the difficult times through COVID, the acceleration of digitization and really the convergence, the coming together, whether it is finance, retail, logistics, e-commerce is just, I think, a tip of the iceberg here, but even core sectors like infrastructure, like agriculture, where the world is so dependent on these sectors, and yet they are large emitters and users of resources. The fintech industry, of course, has grown leaps and bounds. And I'm conscious that the Infinity Forum is focusing on fintechs. So I'm going to ask you this last question. We talked about crypto, we talked about Web 3.0 and the metaverse and this boundaryless global world. What do you think will be the next convergence? What will propel the growth of fintech? And I actually want to say human tech.
Absolutely, Anjali. I think that the opportunity in terms of conversion, right, is, in my view, finance really is at the heart of everything. And we have not digitized finance into its full potential. I believe we are at very early stages of sporadic digitization. And the opportunity, as I see all these technologies emerging, is the opportunity to make sure that we actually adopt a decentralized model of finance, right? We have evolved over the last 100 years in organized finance through a very centralized model. And I still believe that there will be centralized government and central bank policies, but there will be a path to a very decentralized technological solutions where finance will be enabled and available to everybody, right? It will not be, today we have a world where it's still a world where people like, large companies get easier finance, small companies don't get easier finance, same thing with people. And I think that that will change. I also think that what will happen is that convergence, so there, as I see, real-time technologies are there, and there is no reason, it's great that we have moved from T+7 to T+2 and T+1, but I am a big believer in real time. So everything will settle in real time. Smart contracts will become real. Blockchain is a technology I believe in, and it's different from crypto in terms of, and I think that smart tokens, making sure that you are creating transactions that can never be changed, right, is a very important framework for a just and trust-based transactions and trust-based society, which is a prerequisite for all of us. So I think that the convergence of real time, the convergence of the distributed ledger and blockchain technology, smart tokens, right, the convergence of physical and digital through IoT will enable and will redefine the decentralized financial sector in a way that we have never imagined. And I think this is happening in the coming 10 years. And again, this will be a prerequisite to great economic growth, because this is how, and we've just seen it now in terms of saying that how we could never imagine that India would have startups, right, that would be funded And even just 5 years ago, Anjali, if you had asked, we'd say like today there is more money chasing people, and we are short of ideas. And I'm sure that all our young people will come up with more and more ideas, because there are still many problems to be solved in the world. So, and I think that it is time for Gift City, the infrastructure and the vision with which Gift City was created, not only to enable technology and innovation, right, in India, but also to be a gateway to the rest of the world in terms of trying to take innovation in India and export it to the rest of the world. And I'm sure that our young people will do that. I'm always inspired by what I learn when I interact with our 30-year-old at Reliance. And Reliance is just a proxy of what is happening in India. And I really see a bright future ahead. So Anjali, through the medium of Bloomberg, the Infinity Forum, I would like to convey my very best wishes to every aspiring young Indian entrepreneur, innovator, digital change agent, to really bring India to its full potential, and wish you and all the viewers a very happy, safe, and prosperous 2022. Thank you so much, Anjali, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Ambani has given us some very inspiring words, very inspiring, energized vision of a boundaryless, sustainable world, which is inclusive, very innovative. It harnesses the power and the ideas of our youth. Indeed, there is a golden decade coming ahead. The energy of our youth, the ideas, the technology, and frankly, the large size of the Indian market to try out new innovative things. And India can very much lead the way. Gift City can be a gateway as well as a beacon. And with my personal thanks also to IFSCA and to the Infinity Forum. Mr. Ambani, thank you very much. Bloomberg team, thank you. And namaskar, everyone.
તો રિલાયન્સના ચેરમેન મુકેશ અંબાણી કે જેઓ ઇન્ફિનિટી ફોરમને સંબોધન કરી રહ્યા હતા અને તેમણે સવાલોના જવાબો પણ આપ્યા અને તેમણે કહ્યું છે કે ડિજિટલ ક્રાંતિથી દેશમાં ખૂબ જ લોકોને લાભ થયો છે અને દેશમાં ડિજિટલ ક્રાંતિના કારણે વિકાસને પણ એક ગ્રોથ મળ્યો છે. દેશ આપણો ખૂબ જ ઝડપથી ડિજિટલ થઈ રહ્યો છે. આપણા પ્રધાનમંત્રી નરેન્દ્ર મોદી દરેક બાબતને સમયથી પહેલા જ વિચાર કરી લે છે. ડિજિટલ ક્રાંતિમાં જીઓનું પણ યોગદાન ખૂબ જ મહત્વનું રહ્યું છે, તેની પણ તેમણે વાત કરી છે. આગળ વધુ સમાચારો પર નજર કરીશું.